Hello, this is Terry, and this is Miracles on the Street. This is a program about you and what's your miracle. And for the next couple of weeks, we've got our Christmas background here that we would like you to enjoy. And after 20, 30 seconds of our background clip for Christmas for this season, then we will go right into our program, and you can view the miracle testimonials that have come in, that have been shared with us. And then at the end of the clips, the end of the program, then we would ask you that if you know anyone that has a miracle testimonial that would like to share it, please get hold of Miracles on the Street at www.miraclesonthestreet.com. Email us at miraclesonthestreet@yahoo.com, or call us at our phone number. Make arrangements to take those testimonials. Keep them coming in. God bless you, and thank you, and our prayers be with you in this Christmas season. Amen.
This is Terry. Terry is going to, with Miracles on the Street, is going to film this tonight. The reason that I came to invite Jamie was because I saw a movie called The Encounter. And The Encounter is about, well, I'll let Jamie tell you about it. But it was a movie, and some of you who were there last Saturday met the man who portrayed Jesus in the movie. But then I went to find out, you know, being in the Southern California area, I can watch a movie and I can say, I wonder where this person's from. My wife will tell you I do that. And I say, I wonder where this person's from. And if they're from around here, they're going to get an email from me. And it's been wonderful. I've had quite a few people that come from the film industry and other areas. But then I found out that Jamie is a United States Olympic athlete. Of Rio Olympics in 2004. And, well, Jamie? Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me. And what a powerful testimony. And God works in so many ways, you know. I was actually just talking to my friend on the way here about that type of a situation and how we were making comparisons to if a person is gay and if a person is sinning in some other way, they're still the same. Amen. You know, and we shouldn't shun either one of them. And I thought your testimony was so powerful, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad I was here to hear that. Ken, like you said, I did a movie called Encounter. Can you guys hear me back there okay? Yeah. Okay. I did a movie called Encounter. It's done by Pure Flix Entertainment, who make a lot of Christian or faith-based films. And the industry is really growing right now. The Encounter is about a group of people who get caught in a rainstorm and end up all getting located at a diner. And they all have different issues and problems that they're dealing with within their life. And mine happened to be my wife wanted a divorce from me. And I didn't want a divorce from my wife. But anyways, when we got stuck at this diner, the person who was actually serving us, the waiter, was Jesus, which was Bruce, who was here a week ago. And he helped us to work through our trials and tribulations. And you know, I definitely would encourage all you guys to go check out the movie. I think it has a powerful message, and I truly believe that everybody will enjoy it and be able to take something from it. So I was thinking about my testimony today and what I wanted to say. And I never really, when I give testimonies, never normally go too personal about my life. I usually end up glossing over the bad parts and telling everybody the good stuff. But I don't know if everybody resonates with that. You know, not everybody can become an actor, or well, everybody could become an actor, but you know, make Christian films. I don't know. Not everybody can become an Olympian. I'll say that. Or reach the level of success that I've reached with sports so far. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. I grew up in Sacramento, California. I was born in Seattle, and me and my mother, we moved to Sacramento when I was about 2 or 3 years old. And church was always in my life. We went to church very often. We went to a church called Calvary Christian Center. Pastor Phil Godot is huge now. And I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but I really enjoyed it. I knew that God was in my life, and I knew that He was following me, and He was helping me through whatever I was dealing with. I didn't grow up with a father. I just grew up in a single-parent home. Just me and my mom. We moved around a lot. And it was tough, especially in junior high. I went to 5 different junior high schools in Sacramento until we finally found a high school that I ended up staying for the whole 4 years, which I was very happy about because I would have hated to keep moving around to different high schools. But up to junior high, I went to church all the time. And then I stopped going to church. I think it was because we were moving around a lot. And so I kind of lost my church home. And through junior high school to about college, to my university college, was probably the down part of my life because God wasn't so prevalent in my life. Started doing track and field when I was a junior in high school, which is kind of late for a lot of people. A lot of people start when they're kids or whatever, or a lot younger in elementary school. I went out for the basketball team, and I didn't make the team because I had a bad grade in geometry. But a friend of mine came to me and said, Jamie, why don't you come out for the track and field team? You can do high jump. Next year you come back, and you'll be dunking on everybody. And I was like, that sounds like fun to me. I always wanted to dunk, so yeah. Went out there, had a lot of fun with it, ended up excelling a lot at it, becoming most improved athlete. We had a team of about 60 people, a lot of guys that ran since they were kids, and that was my first year ever doing it. And I made it to the California state meet. Now, California, you know, as you know, is a big state. To make it to the state meet, that's pretty big. Yeah, it was me and 2 girls. I was the only man to make it on the team, or boy at the time. And there was 60 of us. True blessing that my friend came to me and told me to come out for high jump. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a co-ed sport, and so I got to travel with the girls, which made it even funner. I continued with track and field because I found this love and this passion for it. Next year I did play basketball, and I was dunking on people. And I also did track and field and made it to the state meet again. I knew I had a talent at high jumping, and I continued with it. I got a bunch of offers for some D2 colleges to be a high jumper and for basketball. But I wanted to compete against the best, and I wanted to be the best. So I decided, you know what, I'll go to junior college for a couple of years, get better, and then hopefully get a scholarship to a university, a D1 college. And that's what happened. But like I said, between those years of maybe junior high and junior college, I was lost. I lost my way. I didn't have any guidance at that point in time. I wasn't going to church. I didn't read the Bible much. I was just floating, looking for myself. I was getting into trouble. My mom used to ask me, are you doing drugs? Are you drinking? It's like, why would she ask me that? Even to this day, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. Not to condemn anybody who does, but I don't do that. But it's not because I'm an athlete. I know plenty of Olympians who do smoke cigarettes, who do drink alcohol on a regular basis, and they're still very good athletes. It's just a personal choice that I choose not to do. For one, for him, for another, for my body. I look at it in a certain way. That I wanted to be the best athlete I can be. And doing that, you can't feed, even though I do sometimes, a lot of junk food all day, every day to a Ferrari car. You can't give a Ferrari bad gas. You got to put the best gas in there. So, and that's what my coaches always taught me. But anyways, so you know, during this turbulent time of my life, I got into stealing, and I was a thief. And I never really told too many people, especially in a public venue like this, you know. So it's a little bit hard for me to say that. And I got into scams and got into a lot of just bad stuff, I guess. You know, I had a very lustful eye. I mean, my hormones were raging, and yeah, I didn't know where to go. And then I got the scholarship. I got a scholarship offer to Berkeley and one to Eastern Michigan University. And I kept thinking, you know, a lot of my friends that went off to college, a lot of them came back, messed up their scholarship for whatever reason, or just couldn't hack it being away. And I didn't want that to be me. So I did some research, looked at Cal Berkeley. Cal Berkeley wanted me to wait a semester. I didn't want to wait a semester. I had student loans from junior college. Eastern Michigan said, we want you right now. And then my coach said, well, they have a great business college, businessman. And my mother always pressed education on me. And so she always said, you should get your degree in business, because if you get your degree in business, you can be anything you want to be. You can continue to go on and be a doctor, or you can continue on to go and be a lawyer, whatever. But as long as you have that basis of a business skills or a business background. So I said, okay, that sounds fine. Business kind of came easy to me, and looked into Eastern Michigan's business school and ended up going to Eastern Michigan. Now, when I got to Eastern Michigan, again, like I said, I did a lot of scams and things of that nature. A friend of mine knew a girl that worked at a bank, and she gave him a credit card and said, hey, go out and do what you want to do. Just don't tell nobody you got it from me. Great. I need a laptop. I'm at school. So I went to the mall, and I told the guy, hey, I want to buy a laptop. And I waited, and I waited, and he probably was thinking, this is not your card, man. So eventually I was like, you know what? I got to go. I got scared. I left. Luckily, God was watching out for me that day. Because when I left, my friend stayed there, and he ended up getting picked up by the police. I ended up going to school, evaded the police. I don't know how. I really don't. I hopped on a bus. The bus took me right back to the mall. I was like, oh, damn. I was in the bus like oh, God. But God was watching out for me that day. And then it took me back to school. And I was like, thank you. I'm at school. My friend shows up. He didn't do anything wrong. So they ended up letting him go. And he said, man, how did you do that? I said, I don't know. I even went back to the mall. I have no idea how I got away. And at that time, everything started opening up in my mind. Everything started opening up in my mind. And it was like, Jamie, you're about to do what all those other guys did. Went off to college and came back because they messed up, because they did this, because they did that. Do you want that to happen to you? Do you realize the opportunities that you have? And God said, don't worry about it, I got you. So I stopped, cold turkey, just like that. And I know that's hard for a lot of people. I pride myself in being very disciplined. In a sense, if I was just telling my friend the other day, I was like, for a long time, for like years, I fasted once a week, just because that's what I want to give to the Lord. And for these last couple of years, I haven't fasted once a week, but that's just what I did. It's a discipline thing. I pride myself on self-control. And I would go to stores and I'd be like, man, maybe I should. God said, no, leave that alone. Maybe I should do, no, leave that alone. It's like, all right, I'm going to listen to you. I don't want to lose this scholarship. I don't want to go back to Sacramento. Got into a church out there. God's back in my life. My life was turning into another direction. That first semester, I didn't do so well at track and field. You know, usually I was making it to the state meets. I was like one of the best athletes. That year I wasn't. And then, you know, I told my coach at the last chance meet one year, I was like, look, next year I'm going to work hard. I'm going to train hard. I'm going to give it all I got. Next year I'm going to break the school record. I'm going to become an All-American. And I'm going to go to the NCAAs and compete against the best. I was like, yeah, okay, Jamie, I believe you. I was like, he doesn't understand how serious I am right now. This was the most serious thing, the most serious conversation that I had at that point in my life. So the next year, we started training again. I trained hard. I trained as hard as I could. I was at church, I was at school studying, and I was at the track. And I was in the weight room, working as hard as I could. And God blessed me. First meet, I made I made it to the NCAAs just for my first qualifying mark. Won the meet. Next meet, broke the school record. Next meet, broke the school record again. Then I made it to the NCAAs, and if you place in the top 8, you become an All-American. So I made it to be an All-American. Now I'm standing here, I'm a 3-time All-American, indoor and outdoor school record holder. And I also have my degree in business administration. My major was marketing. All that time, thinking about how I was a thief, and God stole my heart. So anyways, after Eastern Michigan, I thought I was doing so well. I was one of the top in the nation. I got a chance to travel overseas. Went to Spain and competed at the World University Games. Awesome. I was like, I love this. This is so fun. I'm seeing things and going places I never thought I would go. And I want to continue to do this. Ended up graduating, going back home to Sacramento. And things didn't pan out. I stopped going to church again. I didn't really have a church when I went home. I tried to go back to Christ Calvary Christian Center, and things had changed. I just didn't feel at home at that church. It had grown so big. When I first went there, it was a small church, and everybody was family, and I knew these people. But at this point in time, years later, it was a huge church. Thousands of people went to this church. I just didn't feel comfortable at that church anymore. And so I started going to church. Just try to concentrate on making the Olympic team in 2000. And I didn't. I missed out. You know, a lot was going on. I wasn't sinning anymore, or I wasn't, you know, doing bad things. I just didn't have that connection with the Lord at that point in time, you know. And then, so after the 2000 Olympic trials, which were in Sacramento, I ended up placing 5th. You got to place in the top 3. And I jumped so much better than that the year before, so much better. I jumped 7.6½ in college, just out of college. I jumped 7.6½. The next year I only jumped about 7.4. And that was at the Olympic trials. And you guys are like, wow, that's really high, but you need to jump 7.6, 7.7 to make the team. Actually, that year was 7.5, and I wasn't close. Well, I guess I was close. I wasn't close in my mind. I heard about this awesome opportunity here in San Diego, not here, but in San Diego, at the Olympic Training Center, which is the background to this piece of paper here that you guys are holding. So I moved down here, or I moved down to San Diego at the end of 2000, and I started training for the 2004 Olympic Games. Doubted myself. Wasn't sure if I ever would jump 7.6 again. Didn't know where I was going, what was going on. 2001, I found my current church that I've been going to ever since. Christ Temple Apostolic Church in El Cajon. I've been going there for 10 years now. This is 2011. I've been going there since 2001. Not long after going to that church, I think that March, I don't know if I went in December of 2000, and then that March of 2001, I got baptized and filled with the Holy Ghost. And my life changed. You know? Thank you. Y'all can clap if you want. Thank you. And first of all, I forgot about this. Thank you so much for the offering and everything. You guys haven't even heard me spoke, and you guys gave money. I really, truly do appreciate that. But anyways, going on with my story. So, my testimony. I got baptized. My relationship was back with God again. I was getting that spiritual injection, and I was happy. I was dating a girl at the time, and I don't think God said she was right for me. And that was tough in my life. And 2002, things started picking up a little bit. I started jumping a little better, went overseas for the second time ever in my life, traveled around Europe, and I had a blast, and my jumping was getting better. And then in 2003, my girlfriend broke up with me. Well, I say she broke up with me. She cheated on me. I broke up with her. So I felt like she made the decision first. But more than anything, God made the decision. It's like, this person is not right for you, and she's straying your focus. Your focus is to make that 2004 Olympic team. And that was tough. That was really tough. I lost a lot of weight. But my focus narrowed even more. I got more in church, and I got more in the track and field. 2003, I went to the U.S. Championships, and I won. The national championships. Everybody in this nation, I beat everybody. But God was so much more prevalent in my life at that point in time. And then went over to Europe and did some more competitions, went to the World Championships, and did the best. I had the best season I've ever had in my life in 2003. 2004 comes around. I'm still working off a great high, and my high jumping is getting better. And I was back to 7.6, jumped to 7.6. Actually, I jumped 7.7 in 2003. My last meet, people were like, "You went to 30 meets this year, Jamie. The last meet you go to, you jumped your best." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know how it happened. But God is good." And that's what I would tell them. God is good, you know. So 2004 comes around. Again, Olympic trials are in Sacramento, my hometown. One of the greatest experiences of my life. My season was okay coming in, but I was focused. I went to Olympic trials, and I won the Olympic trials. I jumped 7.7 3/4, and if you look on the internet, you might see some pictures of me with my shirt off and running around doing this. Because it was an awesome experience. It was the highlight of my life. My mom was there, my friends and family were there, and this was my hometown. And I've never experienced crowd control like that ever in my life. Like, I remember there's another jumper, and sometimes we get the crowd to clap like this. And then as we start to run, they clap faster. And then when you make the bar, then they clap more. And if you miss, they say, "Oh." But one high jumper had them clap, and I heard about maybe 30, 40 people clap. When I got people to clap, it was God was clapping for me at that point in time. And I ended up jumping 7.7 3/4 and winning the Olympic trials. It was an awesome experience. Still to this day, the highlight of my life in track and field. The highlight of my life was getting baptized in March of 2001. Then continued to compete, went to the Olympic Games that year. And the hardest part of making it to the Olympic Games is making it to the Olympic Games. Once you're at the Games, for me, it was like, okay, I'm here. Let's have some fun. But the most stressful was being at the Olympic trials, trusting in God, knowing that He had a plan for me and knowing that this is what He was going to do for my life. And so after that, I was on cloud 9. I went to the Olympic Games and placed fourth. And that was tough. It was very tough for me. It was bittersweet because I jumped the best I've ever jumped in my life. I jumped 7 feet 8 inches, which is still my personal best to this day. The fourth best jump. It's actually the second best jump of the Olympics, but the way high jumping works is the misses. You get 3 attempts at each height. And those guys who got second and third jumped 7.8 as well, but they jumped it on their first attempt. I jumped 7.8 on my second attempt. Through the whole competition, I was in medal contention. And then the guy who was in fourth jumped the next height, which was 7.8 3/4, and bumped everybody down. So this was like down to the wire that I just missed the medal. And this was tough for me. I had a little post-Olympic depression after that. It was like, what am I going to do? And I've made it to the zenith of my career, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I still want to compete, but I really didn't care so much. And I'm sorry this is so long. I didn't realize I had all this to say today. Anyways, and so I thought about it, and I kind of had this up and down career after that, you know. And it wasn't because God wasn't in my life. God has always still been in my life. But, you know, it was about finding what I wanted to do and what the next stage was in my life. So I kept competing. I kept working hard at it, and I'm still competing. Next year will be my last year. You know, I have a sponsor, New York Athletic Club, and they pay me a little bit, but not a lot, you know. And so everything that you guys have given helps. I really do appreciate that. That's going to help me get back on that podium in 2012 and go to the London Games. And so I just want to thank you guys in advance for that. So I'm still training. But in 2008, whoa, this was a tough one. In 2008, I got second at the Olympic trials. And I was supposed to be on the Olympic team. There's 2 ways to qualify for the Olympic Games. You have to jump an A standard, which is a qualifying standard, and you have to place in the top 3 at the Olympic trials. And so one of them was out of the way. Got second at the Olympic trials. The other one was get the standard. 6 days later, after the Olympic trials, I jumped the standard. And this year they decided to enforce a new rule, which was you have to get the standard by the Olympic trials time. Every other year, as long as the Olympics have been going on, you had a month to chase the standard if you didn't have the standard. But this particular year, Beijing, they said no. And that was tough because I'd worked so hard to get back to where I was at to still miss the Olympic team. I went to an arbitration, prayed. Felt like, God, I know you have something better for me in my life right now. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking it's the Olympics, but please guide me. And so when I went to this arbitration is almost like court. You go in there, you have an arbitrator, it's like a judge. You have your lawyer, there's another lawyer, and you guys talk about why you should be on the Olympic team instead of the guy who got 7th. Which really happened. The guy who got 7th, they went down to the next person who had the standard, the guy who got 7th, and they put him on the Olympic team. So I pleaded my case, heart, mind, and soul. The lawyer pleaded my case for me. And even afterwards, the arbitrator said, Jamie, you probably should be a lawyer. I mean, you came in here with a lot of fire, and it's going to be a very tough and difficult decision. And then I flew back to Europe because I was in Europe at the time. And I got the call, and they said, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to allow you to be on the team. And that was tough. But I stayed focused. I stayed positive. You know, I was like, okay, what else do you have in store for me? God knows in my heart I've always wanted to be an actor. Since I was a kid, I watched movies intently. You know, my mom, she worked 2 jobs. She worked at a 76 gas station and on the weekends. And on those weekends, she didn't have a babysitter. So there was a movie theater down the street. And she would let me go to the movies. And I watched movies all day. Just movie hopping. And it was great. I had a blast. It gave me a chance to escape from my normal reality of whatever was going on in my life. In 2004, I remember thinking, yeah, I would like to act. I talked to a few people. I was like, yeah, I want to get into acting. I think that's where my life was going to go. And I knew at some point in time I would get into acting, but I just didn't know when. And after I missed the Olympic team in 2008, I was in London. I said, you know what? I'm going to take acting class. I did a short in 2007 with a friend of mine. He started his production company, and we started doing little shorts. I was like, you know what? I need to get more serious about this. Because this is going to be my next career. This is the next thing that God is going to use me for to touch people's lives. Right? So I had a conversation before I took this class in London earlier that year with a lady. And I said, I can act. I know I can act. She was a publicist for some well-known actors. And she said, Jamie, what makes you think you can act? I said, I could be as good as Denzel one day. And she looked at me and she said, well, Jamie, what if I said, some guy came over to me and said, he can be a better high jumper than you. I said, well, how long has he trained? Exactly. Oh, okay, I got you. So it rang in my head. I got to train. If I want to compete against the best and be with the best, I got to train with the best, or at least start training. And that's what I did. I started training. 2008, took a class, and ever since then I've been taking classes ever since then. And eventually, finding the right class was tough. Found a class in San Diego because that's where I live. The best class I feel like is today. And the teacher's name is Kerry Scott. He's been in a lot of films. He's done a bunch of films with David White. David White is the person who owns Pureflix. Pureflix is the people who produce the Encounter. God works. Okay? Now when I got into this class, I didn't know that this teacher, had these connections with these Christian producers. And he has a showcase. It's actually going on right now, but he has a showcase twice a year, in June and December, and end of November, December, that basically we go and we do a scene for casting directors, producers, directors, and these different people, just so we can, the newer actors, we can get agents, we can maybe get recognized, maybe a director will come and see us and want us for their movie, as David White did. And David White came one day, and he said, hey, these guys are huge in the faith-based film industry. You guys need to be there. Don't dismiss it. It's like, I'm a Christian. I'm there. And so I went. I did this scene. It was from a secular TV film, or a TV show. And there was no swearing or anything like that in it. But, and he's used to that because he knows regular life and he watches normal TV. But he liked me. He said, I want Jamie for my movie. He was filming Jerusalem Countdown, which comes out next year in March. This was 2000 and 2009 was my second showcase. The first showcase, I ended up getting an agent in LA, a commercial agent. Second showcase, I ended up getting 2 movies. God works. So, flew out to Michigan where they were shooting Jerusalem Countdown. Randy Travis is in the movie. Stacy Keach is in the movie. Lee Majors is in the movie. And I'm like, wow, what do I do? And so I revert back to my training, and and I did okay. You know, I had a very small scene. I was an FBI agent, and I ended up getting killed. But but it was fun, and it was a great experience, and it was truly a blessing, you know, to be on such a huge film like that at the point in time. Then, not too long after that, David White called me. He said, "Hey, Jamie, I have this script. I want you to check it out." I was like, "Okay, sure." And then you let me know if you like it, if you want to do it. Okay. Like, I'm going to say no, whatever it is. So I read through the script. It was an encounter. I was like, oh, this looks really fun. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to do this. Like, I wasn't going to say no anyway, but... so we went out to... where were we at? We were east of Valencia, east of, I think it's San something, I'm not sure. Santa Clarita. You guys know Santa Clarita? And there's a place out there, it's a ranch called Sanaa Ranch, and they basically had this diner, out there where we filmed and counted. 6 nights, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. we worked. And that's very, very short and a very tight shooting schedule. Like, usually films take months to film. You know, we shot in 6 days. Wow. Very small budget. The guy was working though, because even though we shot that in 6 days, it's touched so many people's lives. It was edited very well. It was shot really well. I think it has a great message. And again, I encourage you guys to watch it. It's on Netflix right now. It's an instant watch. You don't even have to get the DVD. You can just watch it straight forward. And if you guys don't have Netflix, please check out pureflix.com. PUREFLIX.com. And you can order The Encounter from pureflix.com. And so, God has blessed me again. And I know that He has bigger and better things for me. And I know that with the things that I've accomplished and experienced through my life, and acting being the next frontier for me after the Olympics next year, I appreciate all you guys praying for me to make that team. I believe that I'm going to touch so many more people's lives. You know, being an Olympian has allowed me to talk to many, many people, kids and children and families and businessmen around the world, and it's been such a blessing, and I'm glad I was able to come here and give this testimony to you guys. I hope that I was able to touch your guys' lives, and that in some way or another you guys resonated with what I said. Also with this flyer on your desk there, I'm doing a track camp at the Olympic Training Center. We're going to have 3 other Olympians: Jared Rome, who's a discus thrower, Akiba McKinney, who's a long jumper, Dominic Arnold, who's a former American record holder in the high hurdles, and Connie Moore, who was a 2004 Olympian in the sprints. Please bring your kids down to this. It's at the Olympic Training Center. This is an opportunity that people don't hardly ever get to get, especially kids, to come out to the Olympic Training Center and train with Olympians. This camp is going to be next year, January 7th, and everything that you need to know about it is right there in the fine print. And if you need to know any more, please email me. My email is on there. I'll give you guys all one of my trading cards. You guys can email me from there and look at my stats and whatever else you guys want. Do you guys have any questions? I know I've talked for like an hour now, so didn't realize I had that much. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I really appreciate it.
Here's the scenario. You hear the siren. An announcement takes place in heaven. There has been a robbery.
Charges are dispatched. The reply comes back, we caught him, then take him back to the Lord. The Lord says, you've done a twofold robbery. You ask, wherein have I robbed you? The Lord replies. For more about this exciting book, please go to theorygiftbaskets.com or Amazon.